Welcome back, everyone, to more Betrayal at Krondor. I am your host, the Game Hoarder. Alright, it's getting dark and hell is hot. Let us continue. Oh, what is this? We're actually pretty well off after that last battle. Third time's a charm, I guess. Just took a blow to stamina. Your stamina gets used up much faster than your health, but they just weren't landing blows on me that time. James pushed open the door. Looks like this used to be an inn of some kind, but it would appear this place has been abandoned some time ago. Okay, well, that doesn't really do shit for us. I've changed the dynamics of Bandicam, which I think is the big culprit in recording. So hopefully I don't think we'll get a loss in video quality because this isn't quality video in this term or in this day and age. But I don't know. We'll see. You don't need to compress as much, I think, with these older games. At least you shouldn't have to. So far, it's running way better, I can tell already. Standing in front of the intricately carved door, Owen stepped forward. "There are magic symbols," said a magician, carved, no doubt by magic means. "Nope, just a regular hunting knife." The figure of a small elderly man followed the disembodied voice around the edge of the house. "I was out back tending to some chores." "Chores? Some whores!" "You're right about the symbols being magic, though. Carved them there myself. Name's Flowwagon." "Failed to be in the presence of another magician," Owen smiled and said. "It would have been easier to do it magically, Flower." "I suspect you're right about that, but I'm not the magician. No, it was my brother who had the gift. Died a couple years back." The old man started solemnly at the door for... I can't read today, man. The old man stared solemnly at the door for a moment, then suddenly cheerfully said, "Left behind a magic well, his legacy. It guarded by a pretty nasty spell. Give you a good jolt unless I turn it off. You can head on over to the well and I'll give you a drink. It'll fix you right up and set you back only 25 sovereigns. So you can drink here at his well. It's a magic healing well. The protection spell's off, boys. Though he claimed he wasn't a magician, Flower had a knack for appearing out of nowhere. Gotta keep it on the ward off animals and freeloaders, you know." With several sweeps of his hand, he motioned them forward. "Come on, don't be afraid. The water in the well will fix you right up. Only 25 sovereigns. Want to give it a try?" "If it heals all three of us for 25, let's do it." The healing water was obviously starting to have some effect. Flair leaned in closer. "Feels pretty good, don't it? You'll be right as rain in no time. Thanks for your patronage, boys." And with the wave of his gnarled hand, he headed back to his house. Now, 25 sovereigns is nothing in the scheme of things if it's going to heal all our stamina like that. I'd much rather pay 25 sovereigns once in a while than have to camp just to get a portion of that back. So, in other words, we're going to hang on to this as a key location for a while, especially in this area. Maybe I didn't fix it. It was moving much better for the most part to that little area. Still think it's better, just not perfect. We'll keep working on it. Every game runs a little bit differently under DOSBox, unfortunately. A well-armed band of men approach you. "You shall not pass this way unless you pay a road tax," yelled one of the men. James put a hand on his sword. "Under whose authority do you make these demands?" he shouted back. "Lord Leighton, now either turn back or pay us a tax of 25 gold sovereigns." Well, I'm definitely not going to pay it. What do you mean? How come I can't fight those bastards? Oh yeah, we're fighting them. 3v5, baby. Oh, I'm feeling groovy, man. Holy shit, my warriors cannot hit him worth fuck all. I haven't seen that many whiffs from my guys in a long time. That's fucking terrible. Tables are fixing a fucking turn now, boys. I can promise you that. Yeah. How'd that feel? Not fucking good, man! Eats up his magic, but it sure does. It sure does even the playing field when it's 5-on-3. You guys are toast. And now I'm gonna suck this dry. Alright, so we're just gonna rest, and let this guy run away and get as much stamina back as possible. Yeah, I'm not paying you 25 sovereigns, baby. You're paying me with your life. There ain't even bodies here, man. All I see is dead people. Gorath was about to knock on the front door when he heard a strange roaring sound coming from inside the house. It lasted for several seconds and stopped. Then it began again. What in the name of Ishap? Gorath stood with his ear cocked to the door. Suddenly realization dawned, and with a smile he turned to leave. Owen gave a puzzled look. We're leaving? Sounds like a wild beast in there. Perhaps we should see if there's anyone inside in need of our assistance. I'm afraid even if you were a master magician like Pug, you couldn't hear a snore like that. Come on, let's allow him to sleep. It's the game order sleeping. James pushed open the door of the wooden barn. Inside he found stalls containing a standard mixture of animals. The floor of the barn was covered with a pungent mixture of hay, dust, and animal dung. They made his eyes water. He was glad when they left a few minutes later. A few minutes? Motherfucker, I was out of there in 30 seconds. Alright, some sharpening stones, which we're probably going to need because we've been bashing in some heads here lately. Probably use a little armor fixer-upper. 89%, not too bad. 83, needs a little fixer-upping, actually. If you're going to bring it up to 96. Yeah. Yeah, baby, yeah. James is taking a little beating on that armor. That's right. I think we'll survive for now. So this is the town of Lighton. Got some water from the well there. James looked around the small barn. Judging by the variety of livestock, he guessed that it was a community property, perhaps owned by the citizens of Lighton. He poked around for a few minutes and said, "Nothing of much interest here. Let's move on." James knocked, and almost immediately there was a sound of frantic movement inside the house. Then silence. He knocked again. Nothing. "Hello?" Silence. "Is anybody there? We were worried travelers and seek only a moment of your time, and perhaps a drink of ale." James waited patiently for a moment and then sternly said, "Look, asshole, we know you're in there. We heard you moving about." Finally, with the door still closed, the man replied weakly, "We know who you really are. We will have the rest of the taxes as soon as we get the money." No amount of arguing or explaining could convince the man of the truth. The door remained closed. He thinks we're here to collect taxes. James rapped on the tavern door. When it was apparent no one was coming to open up, James shrugged. "Well, it would seem the common folk have taken Prince Aruther's laws to heart. Yes, the tavern is not open quite yet. We're going to need to wait till noon. Can't drink before noon on Sundays here in Texas either. No one is in this house." And we're going to gank 15 sovereigns out of that house. And we're going to wait an hour. Actually, we're pretty banged up. We'll wait a couple hours. It's cool that they at least set up the characters differently around a lot of the inns and taverns. It's pretty cool. That guy doesn't have much to say. He seemed glad to have the company. Looking around nervously, the man appeared concerned that his actions would be observed. After hesitating for a few minutes, he bent closer to whisper in James' ears. "What would you fellows know about the Guild of Assassins?" Chilled as if the blood in his veins suddenly had turned to ice, James regarded the man with a stern look. "Why? Are you looking to have someone killed?" "No, no," the man said, shaking his head empathetically. "I want to save someone myself." "I see, and why would the Nighthawks be after you?" "I halted one of their assassinations not long ago," the man said. "When I saw 3 of them, they were about to pounce on a friend of mine. I called out and forced them into the straight fight. Right away we ran through one assassin while his 2 friends fled. But the fellow we ran through got up again." James' eyes widened, knowing immediately what the man had faced. "They're called Black Slayers," he explained. "They're a Nighthawk that's nearly impossible to kill. If this assassin wanted you dead, why didn't he kill you then?" "I don't know. But he seemed to be concerned that one of us was a magician," the man replied. "I don't know what gave him that idea, but he was shouted something about not going to his final rest and for us to keep the sorcerer away from him." The conversation within the room halted briefly as James pushed his way between her legs, inside the room, returning a nod from a rough-looking pair of mercenaries, who otherwise seemed engaged in a dispute over a lost bet. The barmaid was not happy with James's advances. James asked for company. Smiling at them, the man eagerly accepted the offer of the fellowship and told a number of tales about his works of Lord Lighton. Unsure what was the man's manner inspired his trust, James responded likewise by telling him a few of the details of their trip to Romney, though omitting the specifics about Gorath's part of things. "Ah, way, I don't envy you that," the man said, waving his hands. "I'd not be heading anywhere near the river. Not for no amount of silver." "Why is that?" "Awful troubles there. The Guild of Romney and the Riverpoolers Guild are as good as out of war. If you ask me, some bloke down Silden was trying to stir up things. I've heard he's even got a few sneaks, what are posing as members of other guilds, even carrying forged guild seals. Saw a group of them with Max Fever, that greedy bastard out west of here." When the man excused himself to go answer Nature's call, James pondered for a moment the things he had learned. While it seemed widely improbable that the events that were going on around them were somehow connected, he had seen the plots of the Mermandamus previous in the last uprising, and those circumstances had left him jaded. It made him none the more comfortable that he was now escorting a former ally of that Mordell monster. Alright, we're going to actually head back west before we continue too much further east. Do we have one more? Nope. I think that's pretty much it. Got Nighthawk fever. You will leave my friend alone. That guy really wanted to get to my magician. They know. I'm sitting here defending. I need to be resting. Oh my god, guys. This is what I get for playing after a fucking week of work. Sitting here smashing the shield like I'm resting. No, you gotta click the heart. Game Hoarder, you fucking numbnut. I was sitting there in the fucking shit. I'm thinking, how come my host not going up? Jesus. I had in my head that defend was also rest. That would be nice if it did both, right? A fucking scarecrow? That's cool. Wait a minute. Is that a real person? No, that's a scarecrow. James never had a chance to knock. Without warning, Quagian pirate charged them from the other side of the small house, prepared to kill or be killed. "Look out!" screamed James, readying himself for combat. "Ambush!" I'ma hurt one of you. I guess I didn't fix shit as far as choppiness. This game is just choppy. Get this fucker with his bow. Yo, 5 guys is 5 guys, man. Oh, good old misclicks. Gotta love it. Man, this guy is... He don't want to die, dude. These pirates put up a good fight. I thought we were going to completely mop the floor with them. So much for that. Oh, it's another one of these awesome magical treatment of a blade of Alphane Artificer. Is this the one that gives them... Let me check this out again. Yeah, it puts frost on the weapons. I don't know if that works, if that's only versus like fire creatures. It might do extra damage against normal people. Some nice armor there. Trade out this set for that set. That explains why these guys did not go out without a fight. That guy right there was wearing elven armor. He was obviously the leader, maybe? These funky-ass arrows. Sarani Coral. The work of the wicked craftsman. The Sarani Coral was long, very nearly the length of a man's forearm, and twice heavier than standardized Medkemian varieties. Twin barbs swept back from the laminate point and were meant to worry victims' wounds, inducing bleeding and eventually death. Yes, please. I'm not trying to do that. No one has left hand some time. All right. No one except the guys that just tried to kick my ass. Something been buried. Let's take a look. Money rations and lock pickers. Rubies. We like rubies. They sell for money. Dead pirates. James spotted a man in the field. Bent over, he appeared to be the farmer of some stripe. Though his work seemed to become more industrious as they drew closer to him, undoubtedly he had seen them as well. What a nice little stead you have here.
If you like busting sod, I suppose so. I've had a mind to sell a few times. Events here recently I'm liking less and less. I may just sell everything out, like I've been telling everybody else. Of course, I wouldn't expect a kept boy like you to understand.
Probably wouldn't, but this seems like such a nice lot to give up. Why would you want to?
Everybody knows that something evil happened at the Battle of Sethanon. Definitely unnatural. Me, myself, I used to live in the center of town before King Liam offered up money that I should leave. I didn't think much of leaving, but I thought that the evil would stay there.
And it hasn't? It's creeping down the road from Sethanon?
Listen, boy, I don't care for your attitude. You may all be educated, but it don't mean you know nothing about the world. If you're wise, you'll stay away from Sethanon and take anybody else that'll go with you. There's something evil hereabouts, and I don't want to be about when it at last gets out here.
How much do you want for your land?
What?
If this evil is so imminent and you're anxious to be away from it, I'd be interested in buying this little lot of yours. I'm not afraid of ghosts. What will you sell it to me for?
Well, I haven't actually decided to make the move as of yet. Don't want to get the cart before the horse, you know. It'll likely be a while before I sell. See, don't want to rush it.
Do you know anything about the land that adjoins by yours by chance? Is it for sale?
No, not anymore. I bought it when the old widow Petrum moved out.
Bought it? I thought you said you wished to move.
I do, and look, I haven't time to stand about talking all day. If you're interested in the land, go ahead and look around. Just stay clear of my stead. Now, I got things to do. Good day.
Good day to you, asshole. I'll break into your house and steal your shit now. That's what I do to dickheads. Okay, then I'll rob your barn. Sneaking around to the other side, James spied a flagstone boulder resting against the outside back wall. With Gorath's help, he pushed the stone to the side, revealing some broken planks and a hole just large enough to slip through. Stealing into the murky darkness, he inched along blindly until his foot bumped into something hard. Crouching down with a smile, he was able to make out the shape of a wooden chesticle and was relieved to find it unlocked. What the fuck is that? The stamp was simple, the kind generally used by nobles or priests, and it had a handle made of ivory from which depended several silk streamers. The seal itself was of 3 pots stacked on one on top of each other, the symbol associated with the powerful Glazers Guild of Romney. Hopefully we only need one of those. I don't want to carry around 4 of them sons of bitches. I have the guild shield. I am cool. Ha ha ha. It's mine.
Hey, we got us a little community.
Alright, the tavern. The Six-Toe Tavern. Within the accommodations were humble. Several splintering tables had been jammed into the common room and arranged to accommodate perhaps 25 men, 30 if hunger pressed them. Greasy stains covered benches and walls, evidence of the wild days past. First thing we do is rock the mic and get paid 52 sovereigns. The gambler shook his head. I'm afraid I've come to the end of my funds, he said. Perhaps when I've recouped my losses, we can play again. Okay, not sure what that's about. James motioned to the figure across the room. The woman made her way across the wooden floor until she was standing before them. Hello there, may I buy?
I can't open up the shop. I don't care how much you have to offer or who you are. I can't go in there again.
I was offering, miss, to buy you a drink.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking you were stopping to buy something from my goods store across the road. Since my father's death, I've had the run of these two places. The tavern here and the goods store across the way. You know, I've had folks in here for a week by last count, all offering money for a sword made by a hermit up north. Fool that I am, I sent the word out, but that was before things started happening in my store. I've since closed up things for a bit.
Closed your store? Why? What sort of things are going on there?
You think I'm foolish? I think I'm foolish.
Tell me, I'll listen. If I laugh once, even once, you may upend a cask of ale over my head.
You'll pay for that cask if I do. All right, then. I'll tell you. In the past few weeks, I've seen a man prowling about my shop.
It's easy enough. Between companions and myself, we can get rid of your prowler by dinner time tomorrow.
Can you now? You'll run through ghosts as easy as that. Poleaxe poltergeist in your spare time.
Ghost? This prowler of yours is a ghost?
Told you wouldn't believe me. I'll put it up to you, though. If you can find a way to put the ghost in my shop to rest, I'll reopen my shop and give you the gallon griffmaker that I bought from the hermit. Simple as that.
That offer is nearly as attractive as the woman delivering it. Thank you, fair lady. She's offering us a very nice sword. Extremely nice sword. Very nice upgrade sword. This is the major sub-quest of Chapter 2. So, of course, we're going to get it done. And this is the knife guy that barely says anything. Fuck him. So, yeah, that was the main thing, was to talk to her there. Y'all's barding going up again. From listening to me kick ass and rock the mic. Gorass over there thumping on the fucking table. He gets barding from that shit. Because he thinks he's a drummer. Get the fuck out of here, Gorath. You too, James. Playing air guitar all the time, you dick, with your sword. This is the true bard. Kicking the dick off of casting, too. Alright. Take a little swig of vodka and be on our way. I'm going to save because we got some good info there. Alright. There's going to be some more stuff in town here, I'm sure. Holy shit, we were... You got beat up, sir. You need to have some herbal medicine, my friend. Of course, you're the only one not carrying any, you dingleberry. Okay, I'm not carrying a light bowstring. Leave that shit. So that basically puts him in healing mode. He'll start gradually getting some health back. He got pummeled pretty hard there. Let's have a look and steal things. James rapped in the tavern door. No, we want to... Was that her goods store? I don't know. The door was locked. James was about to leave when he noticed a small sign hanging from the rusty nail in the door. The sign read, Nia's shop, closed for now. It's a strange thing to put on a sign, said James with a puzzled look. Okay, apparently we can't do much about it yet. The man at the door greeted James with a strange look.
What were you looking for behind my house a week or so back?
James looked surprised. I've done no such thing, he said defensively. Perhaps you've mistaken me for someone else.
No matter, I suppose, the man grumbled,
his look lacking conviction. Escorting them to the door, he shrugged his shoulder.
I've got some other things to do, so if you'll excuse me, and don't be wandering around on Herschel's land again here.
Well, fuck you too. Good man. We're not going to dig these up. Jared Lycrow owned a shop in a tavern. Never wanted for more. Covered with grime and grave mold, James distastefully flung back the heavy lid of the coffin to look at its contents. Immediately he retched as a thick ammonia scent billowed up from the coffin's corrupted remains. Just a body, James gagged. Wait, Owen said, pointing down to the hole. Look. Someone's taken his hand. Why would a grave robber steal a body part? James shrugged. I wouldn't have guessed I would be digging up graves myself if Gorath hadn't said that the Mordale had sometimes used them as secret caches. Either way, let's get them covered up and be on our way. So we know that the skeleton is missing a hand. Which is because someone dug him up and took it. The door was unlocked. James entered the small house and looked around. Judging by the simplicity of things which decorated the interior, he guessed the house belonged to Max Feber. This is odd, he said, noticing a few items which seemed a bit more expensive than the farmer might have expected to own. Alerted by the incongruity, something told him to investigate the farmer's belongings further. A burial cloth. Turning over the coarsely woven cloth in his hands, he examined the blotches of yellow mold that seemed remarkably like a human face. It was probably the linen had been a burial shroud, and the face imprinted upon it as the unknown man's flesh had dissolved into moldering corruption. It smelled awful, covered with a strange green mold, and the implement was rickety. A fractured length had held it together with an assortment of rusty nails. However, it had been used recently. It had seen better times.
Greetings, senor.
You often make a habit of digging up graveyards, asshole?
What do you mean?
I mean, the three of us found a burial cloth, and we think you have something to do with all this evil that is going around here. You've been desecrating graves, haven't you, you little shit?
You broke into my house. I'd tell the constable for this.
If he was still living in town, I might feel threatened, but I rather imagine you've already managed to scare him off now. Talk, or I'm going to have a cozy little chat with a friend of mine named Nivik, Prince of Rutha's tax collector. Nice fellow. I think the two of you will get along marvelously.
One grave only I dug up. I don't remember the fellow's name now. He used to own the Six-Toed Tavern before Nia took over the shop. I thought that maybe I could scare her into moving out and selling to me, but she's too darn stubborn.
What did you do with the corpse?
No corpse about him. He was down to his skeleton. I tried to rebury him, but I never found one of his hands. It's bound to be near the graveyard. I think I may have dropped it when I was near old Herschel's house.
What else?
That's it. That's all I know, honest. Dug him up, and then I reburied him.
We'll need to find that hand and bury it. No thanks to you. Goodbye, sir, and I would advise that you stay away from the Six-Toed Tavern from now on. I doubt you'll be warmly greeted. So now we gotta keep going east. These guys are back. That's not cool, man. You dicks. I'll go down here and pay 25 sovereigns, and then I'll be healed. So fucking healed, feeling so sexy. I'll pay this, get healed, and then go back north and use my skills to pay the bills. Should probably still save again. If they're going to keep being... I don't know. It might not be a bad way to get skills. Looks like you can just dodge around them anyways. The man at the door flew into a rage. "You!" he shouted, pointed at James. "That hand you sold me was totally worthless. It wasn't a glory hand at all." James took a step back. "I'm afraid you have mistaken me for someone else. I really have no idea what you're talking about. But did you say something about a hand? We'll buy it back from you." "I tossed that worthless thing into a dried-up well at Lighton. 150 sovereigns, that's how much I paid for it. You telling me you'll give me my money back if I retrieve it for you?" "Yes." James nodded. The man looked at them suspiciously, threatened to have them strung up if they weren't around when he returned, and then left. Several hours later, he returned with a small burlap bag. Placing it on the table with a thunk, he turned to James. "Here's your hand, now give me back my gold." "I didn't take your gold, so let's call this a sale, shall we?" said James. "Call it whatever you like. Where's my bloody money?" the man bellowed. James retrieved the money from his pouch and dropped it on the table. The man scooped it up greedily and demanded they stay until he had a chance to count it all. James scowled. "As much as I'd like to keep what we found, we can barely manage with what we've already have. Check your rucksacks, if you can't make enough room so we can keep our new acquisition with us." Well, you could have divided those up. Jesus Christ. All right, we got the hand. After you get the hand, you take it back to the grave. It's a kiss from the rose in the grave. Make sure you save. No, Jesus Christ, I'm clicking on all the wrong shit. Fuck off. Just trying to save my game, Christ. See if we run straight out here if the pirates fuck with us. You know they will. Okay. The tip of Gorath's shovel made a wooden clunk. Using his hands to push away the soft, unpacked earth, he wiped perspiration from his forehead with the back of his sleeve and stepped out of the hole he had just created. He motioned for someone to bring him the hand as they carefully pried open the pine lid of the decaying box. Then, without looking inside, he dropped the hand and quickly closed the lid, part of it crumbling in his fingers.
Rest in peace now, Jared, whispered Owen. Come on, let's fill the grave and get out of here.
How lovely.
I don't know how you've done it, but bless you. I've not heard a knock or a bump coming from my shop for hours. First time in weeks. After I do a little dusting, I should be able to reopen for business. Seeing that you've held up your end of the bargain, I'll hold up mine. As requested, you can have the gallon grief maker I told you about. Thank you again, and please come by the shop across the street anytime. I promise I'll give you the best bargain.
Thank you, fine lady. It was our pleasure to serve you. Do I have room in my inventory for that? I sure did, and there she is. The fucking gallon grief maker. Holding up the double-edged basket-hilted sword for inspection, Gorath favored it with a nod. The numerous sharp teeth that bristled along the edge of the weapon guaranteed a deep cut if the blade was swung properly. Yep, it's quite an upgrade from a two-handed broadsword. So there's several tiers of swords in it, and they just all go up the same. I mean, they basically, the thrust base gets better, the swing base gets better. A two-handed broadsword thrust is 8, 10 for AC, swing is 21, 0 for the AC. This is 29. The two-handed broadsword is basically the 3rd tier sword, and this is the 9th tier sword. This is a huge upgrade. We need to get it blessed. That is for certain. Alright, well, we need to find somebody to use that sword on. James gasped. He fought back the terror rising within him as an icy wave passed through his body, hitting him in the chest with a sledgehammer blow that forced the air from his lungs. As he fought to catch his breath, he suddenly found himself under attack. I don't think we can beat the shades here. We can give it a shot, though. James blinked. Despite the fact the creature disappeared, he was wary to drop his guard. But a quick survey of the area revealed that it was nowhere in sight. I think it's gone, he said. Let's get moving again. James approached the wooden stub cautiously. Seeing that it was hollow, he looked inside.
Yay, some seashells. My life is forever changed.
An empty house. Hello. The strongest chains will not bind it. Any day now. Ditch and rampart will not slow it down. 1,000 soldiers could not beat it. It can knock down trees and with a single push. Probably wind. You're welcome. Bitch, there's always room for seashells. You better get it through your fucking skull. Make room for seashells, all of you. What can I drop? Probably that shit. I don't need that. At least seashells are worth money. Oh, come on. Making me do this shit again. We have another one. Mordhill Brothers, make it rain. Kingdom, rivers, crimson pain. Mordhill Brothers, make it rain. Kingdom, rivers, crimson pain. Crimson could be blood. And I think it is. Boom shakalaka. Ooh. Thoughts of... Whoa. Magic scroll with some fucking... some stuff on it. Alright, look. Lose the sword. Not that one. That one's worth money. Although he could have wished for better circumstances under which to study it, he did it anyways, and he learned the spell. Alright, let's look up that spell and see what that does. It looks to be like a battle spell. Thoughts like cloud. Basically confuses enemy spellcasters. Yeah, you use it on mages. It confuses them, makes them fuck their spells up. That's pretty rad. I'll take it. I'll take a spellcaster debuff. A pebble tumbled down the cliff face. Puzzled by the seemingly random event, Owen glanced upwards and then back down at the ground. On closer examination, he realized the pebble was in fact a very dull brass button. Before he could cry out, ambushers fell from above. Oh, guinea pigs, you mean? I gave it to Gorath. I mean, that's the end of the video. Let's get it going. Let's get it cracking. Oh yeah, smacked him for 46. This guy's probably running. If not, he's crazy. There it is. Confuses enemy spell. I guess I could just click on the spell, right? I'm going to give you a little blindy blind. Oh, 51. Get cracked. That new sword is sick. Stay away from my friend. Oh, it missed. Where are you going? Crack-a-lacka. Yeah, doing twice the damage. Easily doing twice the damage. Definitely want to get that sword blessed ASAP. Don't want those. Always right-click your rations, folks. Right-click your rations. It's the motto of the day. All right. Beat those guys' asses. Let's give it a little savity save. Chapter 2 is going swimmingly. And it's a trap. That didn't really, that was not a success. I thought that, yeah. That hurt. Well, you can't get all the traps, folks. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Let's go check out this these couple of houses, and then we'll call it a wrap. Yes, I can just dragon skin my way through all the traps, but it's probably a little bit more fun to give them a shot. The owner of the small house, a farmer who has called himself Covey, invited them inside. They talked for several minutes about a variety of topics while Covey's wife grabbed something they could take with them when they left. Can we get you strapping lad something to eat? With a smile, the farmer motioned to his wife. Make some bologna sandwiches, bitch. He moved next to her and helped prepare the rations. What a wimpy man. When they were through, they handed several packages to James, who accepted them graciously. You've been too kind, he said. James scowled. As much as I like to keep what we found, we can barely manage what we have with already what we have. And we have so much rations we have. Check your rucksack, see if you can't make enough room. Yeah, no. Rucksack that shit on the floor. Now let's go kill his horses. Staring into the barn, Gorath thought he could make out the forms of a cow and several small sheep. Fuck it, let's kill the cow and sheep. He also thought he heard chickens. Let's kill the chickens too! Though he wasn't sure exactly where the sound was coming from, it made him think of Kovi's kind offer. Come on, we should be going. And I gotta get going too, folks. We'll see you soon.